standing under the grand chandeliers of the White House East Wing. My husband leaned close and whispered for me not to embarrass him. He adjusted the medals on his army uniform, convinced that this evening was the absolute peak of his military career. He had no idea that the security detail at the entrance was not waiting for him at all. Please take a second to subscribe to the channel and watch this video until the very end, because what happened next shattered his arrogant ego forever. Before we dive into the rest of this unbelievable story, please take a moment to share your current location or your local time in the comments section below, so I can see where everyone is watching from today. My name is Colonel Sarah Miller, and for nearly 10 years I served as a strategic military logistics officer. Most people assume logistics is just office paperwork and managing supply inventories. My husband Marcus certainly believed that, and he never missed an opportunity to make my career feel small. When Marcus and I first met years ago, he was a humble officer who respected everyone regardless of rank. But as the promotions came and his rank grew, his attitude shifted entirely towards status and appearances. At military dinners, whenever someone asked about my job, Marcus would laugh and announce that his wife simply organized basic spreadsheets and supply orders. I always smiled quietly and remained silent, because my classified oath of secrecy was far more important than my personal pride. What my husband failed to realize was that military logistics keeps troops alive during high-stakes global operations. I was managing fuel supply lines, emergency air transport routes, and sensitive international evacuations under extreme security clearances. Because operational security prevented me from discussing my work at home, Marcus mistook my silence for lack of ambition. He convinced himself that his career was the only one that truly mattered, while mine was just a minor administrative detail. That autumn, 2 official envelopes bearing presidential seals arrived at our home. Marcus opened his immediately loudly celebrating that he had been invited to an exclusive reception at the White House. He spent the entire evening calling relatives to brag, completely ignoring the second envelope sitting beneath his. I opened my envelope, quietly reviewed the specialized security instructions, and placed it safely inside my desk without saying a word to him. On the night of the event, Marcus smirked as we entered the White House, reminding me to stay quiet and let the real officers do the talking. We stepped up to the check-in desk, where Marcus proudly presented his digital pass. But when I handed the hostess my heavily secured envelope, the scanner gave an unusual tone. The hostess immediately flagged down a 4-star Admiral standing nearby, informing him that the primary honored guest had officially arrived. Admiral Vance walked directly toward us with deep respect, completely ignoring Marcus and extending his hand to me. He expressed how thrilled the military leadership was to finally meet me in person, and noted that the President requested to be notified the moment I arrived. Marcus stood there utterly speechless, his face turning entirely pale as a protocol officer guided him away toward the general seating area while I was escorted straight to the front row. The President stepped up to the podium and announced that the evening was dedicated to unheralded heroes who worked in total secrecy. A satellite map appeared on the screen, displaying a complex evacuation plan that had saved thousands of American lives during a recent overseas crisis. The entire room listened in awe as the President revealed that one exceptional logistics officer had masterminded the entire operation behind closed doors without ever demanding public recognition. When the President called my name and invited Colonel Sarah Miller to the stage, the entire room erupted into a standing ovation. Marcus watched in absolute shock as I accepted the Presidential Medal for Extraordinary Civil Military Service. Standing at the microphone, I dedicated the award to the unseen mechanics, radio operators, and supply teams who work in the shadows. The crowd applauded warmly, and the President thanked me personally for my quiet dedication to the nation. During the reception afterward, high-ranking generals and cabinet officials surrounded me with praise, while Marcus stood alone near the window. When he finally walked over, his voice trembled as he confessed that he had never truly seen or respected my work. He admitted that his own fragile ego had blinded him for years, reducing my career to simple spreadsheets. because he could not handle the idea that my responsibilities far exceeded his own. His commanding general joined us and expressed deep disappointment in Marcus, pointing out how tragic it was for an officer to overlook such remarkable talent inside his own home. Marcus had no excuses left to make. The White House event he thought would be his ultimate moment of glory turned out to be the exact night. His arrogance was completely exposed to everyone he had spent years trying to impress. In the months that followed, our lives moved in entirely different directions as I accepted a leadership role educating young officers on genuine humility and respect. Marcus stepped down from his command to focus on personal growth, finally understanding that true strength does not require constant volume or titles. Never underestimate the quietest person in the room, because real power relies on character rather than status. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to subscribe for more stories.